So today's video is either going to be a really cool one for you, or it's going to be a total disaster. Or I guess maybe somewhere in between. I keep seeing these videos online of people's Cybertrucks made to look like they're from one of the Tron movies. Well, I'm going to see today if I can't try to replicate it using some silver reflective tape. So today I'm going to attempt to do it DIY. Just this week I saw somebody was selling kits where you could do your own DIY, except for they were like $1,000 plus. I'm going to do it for you today in under $100 to let you know how it works. Here we go. So obviously I had no idea where to even start from. So I went and just jumped online and bought about 20 different types of rolls of reflective tape. It came down to finding something that was a balance between still being very reflective at night, yet would still kind of hide and blend in a little bit during the daytime. I found some that were very reflective that I put along here in the front of the truck that were very shiny, very mirror-like. They hid very well. You could hardly see they were there, but didn't really reflect at all at night. I found some that reflected very well, but when I put them on in the daytime, they're a little bit too white. So really it came down to two main brands that I found that I determined would be the ones I would try. I did one here on the left side, and I did another one here on the driver's side or the right side of the truck. In addition to testing out several different types or kinds of reflective tape, I actually experimented with several different widths of reflective tape. Now again, I'll leave these all in the description below. But I end up coming to the conclusion that I liked the smaller of the width of tape compared to that of the bigger, because it was less noticeable during the daytime, and it still, when you got the right kind of tape, it still caught that light and reflected really nice in the nighttime. And so I got to work with my driver's side. Again, this is the rolls of tape that was made by the company called Vivid. It was about $9 a roll on Amazon. Okay, so I'm one roll in. Basically, I was allowed to go from the back, way back here, all the way up the front of the truck, down to the very peak. Then I came about half the way back here, stopped about the mid door. Then I also did this little trip on the bottom and the back here on the back. So I would say I'm about 10% of the way done, and I think I bought 3 rolls. So I'm gonna need to hit up Amazon. And yeah, before you say it, I definitely could have done some math, but I didn't. I just bought some rolls, and actually I had some extras and some other that were on the way. But this part is really just lining it with tape, not really a whole much to it. Now, this side here on the driver's side, the tape I used, which you'll see here, was actually a little bit more brittle, which made it a little bit trickier. But in hindsight, it was just really cold this day, and it might have been better in the heat, because if I tried to remove it, it came off really simple. Wasn't really much to it. Now, I rushed a little bit in the beginning, and I kind of met in the middle. And you can see here it's uneven at the door. So in future strips, I worked from the left all the way across to the right. And then I trimmed it all the way when I was done with a little razor knife to make it look nice and sharp. Next, I went over to the passenger side, and I used this different tape. It has the little kind of like octagon that kind of glitters. Of the two tapes I ended up using, I think this was the better of the two, or at least the one I preferred better. It still blended in, but really popped more during the dark. But also what's better about it is it stuck better, and it wasn't brittle at all. So in addition to the passenger side, I also did the tailgate with this tape. So I was debating running the tape along the very top of the truck or just under the lip. So I chose to run under the lip, and actually over here, I cleared the tape away so it'll just be this little box. But now I'm thinking I might go ahead and just run it along the top, and that way I'll have like a little rectangle stand out in the top. Here we go. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I was glad I did this because from most angles, you couldn't even see this because it was tucked up high, even in the daylight, but it really pops in the dark because obviously that reflection really just catches any kind of light. And then just for fun, I framed the little emblem where it has the Foundation series just to kind of make it pop out a little bit. Then I went and grabbed my razor knife just before and trimmed all the little edges. Now, trimming the edges, especially on where the points meet on the side of the truck, really made all the difference and really kind of made it pop out. Like, see this little point here, as well as the point in the back, really looked cool. All said and done, really happy with it. Now, there was one other one that I tried, this little reflective tape that I put here, and I did this on the front of the vehicle. Now, this tape actually blended the best, but it was not reflective at night, so I chose to do away with this one. In addition, I got some red reflective tape and tried to line some areas in the back along the taillights. Now, I wasn't really positive of this, wasn't really hopeful. However, now that it's done, I really love it. I got behind my wife in traffic the other day. She was driving my truck, and I just had our other Tesla. And as I was driving along, I could see, even when she wasn't pressing the brake, the little square illumination around those brake lights that really popped out. And when the lights came on, it didn't add or detract from it all. In fact, you wouldn't even notice. But in the dark, when other lights were hitting it, really stood out. So I think you can make a good argument that in addition to it just looking cool as I was expecting, it actually adds a level of safety, which that's generally speaking what reflective tape is for. Now I got two kinds of the red tape also. I got the flat red and this one here with the octagon also. So here on the passenger side, I put this octagonal tape, which again kind of pops a little bit. And over on the other side, I put the flat red tape. Honestly, these didn't matter as much. I couldn't see them, but I still kind of prefer the one with the little built-in octagons. It just looks cooler. Then came the wheels. Now I have this like Cybertruck type wheel that looks really rugged and cool, but it doesn't look very Tron. Everything Tron is sleek, so I changed out to a new cover. After nailing down the two different types of reflectors I knew I wanted, after lining the taillights, after the new wheel covers, I felt like I was pretty good. And then I just stumbled across some glow-in-the-dark tape while I was looking for reflective tape online and thought I'd give it a try. So as you can see here in the background, but I put it just below the main little light bar here, which as you know is not your main supply of light, all the way around, and it really pops in the dark. I mean, really pops. I was shocked how much light was absorbed from the light bar by this reflective tape. I was thinking this was only gonna work as it was getting dark. It would soak up light during the daytime, and maybe for the first hour or two, as you started to get dusk or even a little bit dark, you'd show up. I was not expecting how much light this tape would soak up from the light bar. So if you light this up at night, if you're driving at night and you get out, as soon as that goes off, as soon as it goes off, it glows as if it's an LED light of its own, and it will stay glowing for an hour or more after you turn it off. This has been honestly one of the unexpected, coolest things that I've done to the truck. Now this, I had to make sure I cleaned the plastic really well because it was a little bit of slick, but then once I had it on, I cut it to fit really nice with a razor knife, and almost immediately it starts to glow in the dusk. It's so cool. All right, so now that I've got all the reflective tape on, I've got the wheel covers on, I've got the glow in the dark on, the only thing left is to come back at night, let you see how much it really pops. You're gonna like this, stay here. All right, so now it's gotten dark, and as you can see behind me is a truck, and you can already see just from this one still angle with the light here on my face, how well that reflective tape really pops, and it's totally pulled off the look I was expecting it to. So I'm gonna show you several screen recordings of actually my camera. So here I am, just gonna turn the flash on, and here's what the truck looks like just through the flash of my simple phone camera. Here's another one, I'm actually gonna take a picture. There's the flash. You can just see just with a simple flash how much it lights it up. Here again, I'm just sliding a light off of it, then back on. So I have a nice like a Milwaukee spotlight and pushing it on, taking away. You can just see how much it pops. Again, there's a picture flash, and one more time with a light. Then I'll just take a little tour around the truck and you'll get to see the whole thing here. It is unbelievable how cool it looks in the dark. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I've enjoyed putting it on. I'll leave the link down in the description below to all this stuff that I put on the truck so you can kind of know with little descriptions below on which ones I talked about throughout the video. Under $100, you can make your truck totally change its look at night, but still giving it about the same look during the daytime. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. See you on the next video.